Hi, my name is Prathamesh and I welcome you to the Civilization Project. Our current world faces many challenges: pandemics, wars, recession, climate change, hunger, poverty. But the biggest reason we have these challenges is that our world is divided into many empires. And all of these empires are fighting to protect and pursue their own national interests. But if we really are interested in solving these global challenges, there is no other option than to unite as one single civilization. And that is the ultimate goal for the Civilization Project. Now the question is, how do we achieve that? Well, if you have to upgrade any system, you first have to dissect it, study it, analyze it, and understand it. Only then can we think of upgrading it. Decisions in Focus is a brand new YouTube series that will do exactly that for you. Take the current world, dissect it fully, and understand how it works, using the lens of decision making. I'm sure you will not find content like this anywhere else. If you think this is a worthy initiative that deserves an audience, please share this video with your friends and family. Now, let us turn to the decisions in focus today. Some really big decisions were made in the last week on all the 5 levels. But the first we'll pay attention to is the arrest of Sanjay Singh, a member of parliament in Rajya Sabha and the national spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Singh was arrested from his home on 4th of October in connection with the liquor scam. Now earlier this year, Mr. Manish Sisodia, the ex-deputy CM of Delhi, has already been arrested by the CBI. And the latest news is that CBI and ED are planning to make the entire Aam Aadmi Party an accused party to this case. Now, as expected, the opposition parties have started crying about how the present government is abusing the state investigative agencies. Adani scam was trending on Twitter, and articles on how democracy is under threat should be just around the corner. But as a society, we need to be aware. With national elections coming up, nothing can be written off. Maybe the case against Sanjay Singh is solid, or maybe the opposition is right. Maybe this is just a case of political vendetta. But just like we rightfully fought back against the baseless allegations of Canada accusing us of extrajudicial murder without sharing evidence, we should similarly demand evidence in all our domestic cases, especially the politically relevant ones. Or else we as a society would be behaving with terrible hypocrisy. Moving on, in the world of business, Slice, a fintech unicorn, has announced its decision to merge with Northeast Small Finance Bank. This deal has been blessed with the approval of RBI and looks like a major victory for the startup ecosystem. After a flurry of investments in the last year, the investment activity had kind of slowed down in 2023. Amid the blow-up of Baiju, the threat of shutdown at Dunzo, and a doomy environment of funding winter, this merger of a fintech company with an established bank is indeed a major win for the ecosystem. Another theme that is reinforced by this merger is more and more digital-first startups are now looking to build a physical footprint to grow their business. We saw a similar story play out with e-commerce players like Lenskart and Nykaa, edtech players like Unacademy, Byju's and Vedantu, and now this merger in the banking sector. To be honest, the startup ecosystem may be out of news cycles and we may not have produced unicorns as fast as we did last year, but the builders are building and good founders are definitely thriving. India's startup story is as strong as it was. Speaking of strength and persistence though, reminds me of Shikhar Dhawan, the ferocious batter who represented India in many games. He was apparently going through very tough situations at home. Just last week, the family court in Delhi granted the divorce to Shikhar Dhawan on the count of cruelty inflicted upon him by his wife. Now the details of this case are simply heartbreaking. This man, Shikhar Dhawan, was forced to stay away from his child for years, had to pay child support to his wife's daughters from previous marriage, and was forced to sell his properties in Australia because again his wife demanded more money. Friends, I really want to understand what is going wrong with us. I personally know so many couples who have filed for a divorce. There are multiple papers that suggest that almost 50% of our married couples have cheated on their partners at least once. Now, on one hand, a part of our society is rightfully fighting for the country to legally accept same sex marriages. And on the other hand, the sanctity of the relationship in itself is under threat. Can you please share your thoughts or experiences? These relationship decisions are a key area of our lives, and I would love to study it in more detail. Coming to the final story of the day, the world as we know has changed completely on 7th of October 23. Hamas, the militant group in power in Gaza Strip and West Bank, launched a sophisticated attack on Israel. After overwhelming Israel's Iron Dome with more than 2,000 missiles, Hamas militants launched a massive infiltration via road, air, and water. Many militants were seen enter Israel in pickup trucks in a typical ISIS-style attack, and they quickly took over many IDF bases. They were also successful in grabbing control over many territories in southern part of Israel, especially in the cities of Ashkelon and Sderot. Another group of Hamas militants were successful in raiding an all-night party near a kibbutz with the help of motorized paragliders. In no time, social media was flooded with images and videos of the brutality of these raids. Gang rapes, abductions, indiscriminate murder of unarmed citizens. This attack on Israel remains one of the most brutal and inhuman acts of violence in the recent past. This raid by Hamas has raised a lot of questions. Questions about Mossad's incapability to anticipate such a huge attack. Questions about Israel's capacity to defend its borders. Questions about how this relatively small group of militants is capable of such a sophisticated operation. Now, after such a huge infiltration, Israel was forced to declare a state of war. Hamas's decision to attack Israel with such brutality and the following decision of Israel to declare war has very, very large consequences for the entire world. Now, soon after, countries from around the world stated their decisions on which side do they support. A bulk of Western countries like the US, France, Italy, Germany, UK have declared unconditional support to Israel. The US has already announced a naval carrier group to be moved to the Mediterranean Sea to provide support to Israel. The Islamic countries, however, in the Middle East, namely Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Lebanon, have vowed their support to Palestine. There were also reports of Hezbollah gearing up for an infiltration from the northern side of Israel if necessary. Countries like Russia, China, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia have demanded a ceasefire and implementation of a two-state solution to the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, Iran and Iraq have already warned of escalation if the United States gets actively involved to help Israel. What is clear is that the war declared by Israel will mostly not stop with the Gaza Strip or West Bank. The entire conflict may stretch all the way to Iran, which has been on crosshairs of US and Israel for a long time now. And this may just trigger a chain reaction which ends the era of Pax Americana and firmly establishes a multipolar world order. I don't think we should bear any doubt that we are already in a World War III. Sorry for such a doomsday ending to today's video. But the truth is that the current reality of ours is heated up with a lot of conflicts brewing all around the world. The repercussions of these conflicts are going to be difficult to accept for all of us. And we will be forced to make tough decisions on all 5 levels. Now, I will try and get some more experts to dive deeper into this conflict and the consequences we might witness. Stay tuned for more updates. My name is Prathamesh, and this is the Civilization Project. See you next time.